What's up everyone, this is Vince with MarvelousMarketing.online, here with another video on how to repurpose your old content so you can use it on other platforms to grow your audience. If you're into things like this, then keep on watching till the end of this video. Let's be honest, creating content is so difficult, especially when you have to create something new every day, and especially when there's so many platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube to post on. Creating content can become so overwhelming. Creating content also takes a lot of brain power. You have to figure out what you're gonna post, how you're gonna post, when you're gonna post it. There's so many things to think about. So what's one thing that'll make creating content a little bit easier for you? It's called repurposing your old content. Before we get into the tips, make sure you already hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and make sure that you already hit that notification bell so you know every single time I post a video about growing your online business every single week. Now let's get into it. So first and foremost, to understand repurposing content, you need to understand macro content versus micro content, what they are and how you should be using them. What is macro content? Macro content is a long form content that can be cut up into shorter pieces that then becomes micro content to be posted on other platforms. It's the one piece of content that you only need to make once, then you can repurpose it and use it on all the other platforms. Macro content delivers the most information. Micro content is the short pieces of macro content that you use to engage with your audience quickly, efficiently, and to give them short spurts of information so that they'll come to your macro content to learn more. Going back to the subject of this video, repurposing your content, I would always say or always recommend to start with your macro content as your video content, because there's so much you can do with video to repurpose your content. For example, there's so many things you can do with video content. Creating a long form video, you can really go into detail about the subject matter that you want to present to your audience. You can really go into the what, the when, the where, the how. From there, you can strip those things and make it into small snippets. Those snippets can then be pushed on other video viewing platforms like Facebook, like YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. From the audio of that video, you can also take it off and make it a full-blown podcast episode. You can then take the most important parts of that podcast, shorten them up, and make it into even shorter podcast episodes. You can then use those ideas and go into more episodes, explaining those tiny ideas and turn them into their own podcast, full-blown out episodes. Bonus tip, you can also take those important tips and put it into an audio visualizer video to create more content and post on all of the other platforms. So you get a cool little video that bounces with the audio, so it's a cool little way to present to your audience. From that same video, you can also transcribe that video and make it into another blog post. When you decide to make that video a blog post, make sure you embed that video into your blog post as well. If your video and your blog are utilizing the same keywords, Google and YouTube will increase the visibility of both those things and help you rank in search. Yeah. So with those two tips in itself, you already created so much content from just one video. So if you already have a lot of video, do just that. Pull the audio from those videos and make it into podcast episodes, and then transcribe each of those videos to make it into blog posts. If on the other hand, your macro form of content was blogging, you can actually take those blogs and turn it into videos as well as podcast episodes. You can turn on a camera just like this and read those blog posts to the camera. So now you have a video form of that content, and then you can also strip that audio and make it into podcast episodes. So that'll give you the option of making those blog posts into videos or podcast episodes. If there are key points in the blog, you can take those key points and quotes into social media graphics by using this website that I like to use for a lot of my stuff. It's called Canva, which is a graphic design website that you can actually put text over any graphic, and most of it's free. You can use testimonials or reviews as things to post on all of your platforms. You can use Canva to take those good reviews or good testimonials and make a social media graphic and then post them on all of your platforms. Was there also a social media post that you recently made that got a lot of attraction, a lot of engagement? What you can actually do is take that social media post and turn it into a long piece of content. You can make a video out of it going into detail a little bit more, or even a full podcast episode going into that subject matter more as well. Because if your audience already resonated it, that means that they already liked it. So you want to give them more of that subject. You can then break that audio down and break that video down and turn it into more pieces of content to be posted on all of your platforms. So another bonus tip when it comes to repurposing your content is to go live about subject matter that your audience already liked. So like I said earlier, if there was a social media post that all of your audience resonated with and really enjoyed, you can go live about that as well. You can either tell your audience ahead of time or just do it. And when you do it, it doesn't have to be long or crazy. Just go into like 30 to 60 seconds about just explaining that even more. What that'll do is it'll let your audience know, hey, I noticed that you guys like this post and I want to tell you more about it, so pay attention to this. So it's another way you don't actually have to come up with any new content. You're just re-explaining everything that you did in that post and your audience will love it. So in my opinion, video is the most important and my choice when it comes to making macro content. I love how easy it is when you can break down that video and turn it into micro pieces of content. When these two pieces of content, when macro and micro content are used together effectively, it helps to build trust, loyalty, and credibility, and helps in targeting your ideal, perfect audience, and it helps to provide the most value you can to them. All in all, I hope this video shows you that creating content doesn't have to be such a burden. By repurposing your old content, and when you plan on making new content, you can do it in such a way that makes making content in general just easier for you. Tell me in the comments below what's your choice of macro content that you like to use. I hope this video on repurposing your content was helpful to you. If it was, please make sure you leave a like, you subscribed, and you shared this with one of your friends so that they can benefit from this video as well. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget, be marvelous.